Alright, I'm here with the version 1.1 update of Content Foundry. As you probably know, Content Foundry hasn't even been released for a full month yet, but I've received a lot of great feedback from you guys, and in fulfilling the promise of continual updates and improvements to Content Foundry, I have here an update that streamlines content creation, provides more flexibility, and faster creation than any previous version. So stick with me through the video here and I'll get you up to speed in no time. As you're sitting here looking at this, you're probably noticing the create screen looks quite a bit different. And this is where most of the changes have taken place. Of course, you'll still need to select a project and a template. So I'm going to start with my DWI attorney project. And you'll notice that I now have the option to choose keywords. No longer will you only be able to choose one keyword to create content for, whether that's the GSA campaigns or quick content or export. I can click this and select as many or as few keywords as I want. They're grouped by the type of keyword list they belong to. And you'll notice here I have access to, of course, all the primary, which I can add just by selecting that group. But I also can pull in secondary and custom keywords if I have them set up in the project, which for this project I currently do not have any set up. You'll also notice that there are two new lists of keywords that are automatically generated. These are generated now anytime you make a new keyword cache, anytime you scrape for content. With older content caches made with previous versions of Content Foundry, these will dynamically be loaded in as you activate a project. So it'll happen in the background. That shouldn't affect your ability to create content, other than it might take it a few seconds for it to catch up as it updates it, but shouldn't be anything major. These are topical keywords it pulls about what it thinks, the topics of the content you'll be writing about. And it doesn't necessarily always pull in this many, and I will say that they're not always totally accurate, but for the most part, they usually are. I have two content caches loaded for this project, as you can see here. So it's pulling all the topics from each and putting them in this list. In the same way, it'll pull all the long tail keywords for those two content caches into here. And so you have the ability to dump in some long tail as well. Now, it's not doing any kind of calculations to figure out whether or not these keywords are good, other than the fact that people search for them on Google. They're recommended by Google. They're primarily here for a new feature that I'll show you in just a second. But I also put them here just in case, for example, you're creating 250,000 extrimmer sentences and you just want a lot of different keywords that are related to your niche. Well, you could just dump in that list here, and you have 643 keywords to create content with, without having to do any of your own scraping of content, or keyword scraping with other tools or anything like that. But if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, I'm never going to use that long tail keyword list, there is still another reason for it, and I'll show you in just a second. So I'm going to just put these in here, sake of demonstration, and I have 15 selected. So now as soon as I hit quick content, it's going to start generating content for me. And it was that fast in creating a complete set of new content. So let me show you exactly what that is. The titles for articles here are 50 unique titles spun, and they're all in title case. The article body is 400 to 700 words of content. Each sentence has 5 spins, and each sentence is also word spun. So you have the you have the ability to get very unique article bodies here with the click of a button. You could easily post this 100 times and not have to worry about dupe content. Now, if you have links activated in your project, then it will pull in links up to 3. It will randomly put them in here for you, and it favors tier 1 links but say, for example, you have some authority links, it'll drop those in every once in a while too. The summary is 3 sentences. Each sentence has 10 spins, so there's a total of 30 sentences in here, and everything is word spun. There are no links. Resource will pull up to 1 link from your project, preferably a tier 1. It'll look for that first. It is also about 3 sentences, and each sentence has 10 spins as well as word spinning. So you can get some very unique resources here and very unique summaries pretty quickly. Of course, you can use these for comments or whatever, but they were designed with the article submissions in mind. Bookmarks, another set of 50 spun titles, and the descriptions are 24 to 80 words of content with 5 sentence spins each sentence for each sentence, and everything, of course, is word spun. There will be no links in this content here. Moving on to the keywords and category generator, this pulls from all the new keyword content that Content Foundry comes up with that I was showing you here in the active keyword selection. So if I need a list of tags for my social bookmarking software or article posting software, I can just come in here. I can get some really broad keywords if I want to. I can put that into spin tags. So you have a lot of flexibility here with quickly generating lists that are as specific and broad as you want to, and that are in the format that you need. So this is the keyword generator. Now here's the category generator. This is kind of bare bones at the moment, but the intention of this is to give you some guidance into how the content you're generating should be classified when submitting it to article sites. So I know a lot of times when you're submitting to directories or article sites, sorting through the myriad of possibilities for categories can be daunting and tedious. These should help steer you in the right direction. These are how your content would be organized if it was submitted and accepted to dmoz.org. All right. Now, you might notice that there is no GSA button here. That's because it now lives in the campaign generator screen. So there will be more generators here added in the coming weeks and months. For right now, GSA, Search Engine Ranker, is the first and only one. Most of this has stayed the same with exception to the ability to change now from the application how much content you're creating, as well as where the campaigns are saved to and where the content is saved to. So I could hit Restore to Defaults, and it will change this to the original GSA campaign folder. And that's about it for the new features in 1.1. I'll just say that now that you have the ability to play with these numbers, they're already set pretty high. 5,000 sentences, for example, is quite a lot. So you don't necessarily need to raise them quite a bit unless you plan on letting the project or campaign run for a couple days. But that pretty much sums up the 1.1 update. Happy scraping. Cheers, guys.